right, everybody. Well, welcome to the first official Creative Drip podcast.
Woo!
Woo.
I'm your host, Nate, and with me we have two content creators. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name is Elijah. I help content create for my church, House of Blessings. I do photography and videography when needed. And that's pretty much it. Whenever I'm scheduled to create something, I'll create something. But not so often because I am all part of the praise team, which does take a lot of time and effort. So, but I do help a lot, I think. Creative director.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then, thank you, Ava. And over here we have...
I'm Alyssa, and I'm honored to be here. Oh, the doggo.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I'm Alyssa, and I spent quite a few years being on the creative team at church. But right now, I'm just on the worship team, and I actually just started making vlogs. Smelling my armpit. I just started making vlogs on YouTube, and I've been trying to make more reels on Instagram and TikTok, and they're basically just travel focused, or I don't know, just about my life. So that's what I create.
Very nice. Well, thank you. And I am Nate. I am creative director at House of Blessings. I also do photo and video for Turtle Crew Productions, my business. So welcome, guys. This is it. This is episode 1 of something that I've been wanting to put together for quite a while now.
Where do you kind of, what's the reason and purpose for this podcast?
For the creative drip.
For the creative drip.
Yeah.
For the creative drip, yeah.
Tell us your why.
Oh.
What's your why, Nate?
So I'm still discovering my why. I'm actually reading the book Find Your Why currently. But no, during the 75 Hard Challenge was when during my runs or walks is where I was kind of able to think and get the creativity out there. So I always carried my phone and I did voice memos, little vlogs to kind of record what I was thinking creative wise. And one of the things I thought of was, well, you don't really get to see a lot of behind the scenes of people who are behind the camera. You know, you never get to see into their lives or into what it's like to be a content creator, creative, graphic designer. So I called up Ernie when I had this epiphany.
Ernie. Shout out
Shout
Ernie.
out to Ernie.
And he will support you in your ideas.
He will. Ernie will support you.
Or shoot you down.
Or he'll be realistically shoot you down if, you know, it's a little too much.
Yeah.
But I came to him with this idea and said, hey, this is what came to me. And Ernie was like, hey, all right, cool. Sounds good. And I said, all right, now we got to think of a name. And shout out to Ernie for creating the Creative Drip name.
He created the name?
He created the name. Yeah.
Wow.
We had about a 10-minute conversation going back and forth, and he was like, I got it. The Creative Drip.
Okay, I've heard the little background info about the name, so like explain it.
So the Creative Drip is it's kind of difficult to explain, but you know, the way I see it is, and I've told other people, it's the behind the scenes of individuals who are working behind the scenes. And so the Creative Drip is something that me personally is, as you're creating content, whether it be for church, for your work, whether your own business or for another company, you're constantly pouring out everything that you have to where, you know, even if we show up on a Sunday or even at work, we're kind of just dripping the last bit of our creativity out. And so that's kind of where here on the podcast is where we have other creatives that help pour into us so then we can go back and pour it out into others. So
And we can drip?
we can drip onto other individuals. So welcome. Yeah, this is
Thank you for having us.
I thank you guys for. I was not expecting both of you to be here today. And so when you told me Elijah was going to be here, my initial thought was they're going to be on the podcast.
Oh no.
Oh no. Honestly, I had no idea what I was. I was like,
I was driving here and he's like, "What are we doing?"
I
was like-
had no idea what we're doing. Alyssa was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Ernie's." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And she, so I was like, "Okay, I could go," because like I got off work a little bit early, and so I was like, "Okay." And honestly, I thought I had no idea. I thought Ernie was just gonna make food and we were gonna eat it, and that was it.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of a, what is it, spur of the moment type of thing. But
that's cool. That's cool though.
I mean, that's what us creatives do. We're always last minute
that
thinkers.
tends to be
Last minute ideas.
Last minute
Last minute
ideas.
ideas. Yes.
That
tends to be it
bring
right there.
forth into that. What's the word? That
Creativity. Bring forth.
that like happen. That happen.
Oh, that happened.
Ideas that we think of last minute that happen.
Happen.
There's another word for
Coming to
happen.
fruition.
Yes,
flourishing.
but there's another word. too.
Okay.
Other than
I know fruition.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
Put it in the comments, son.
I have trouble with English sometimes, so language is. not
My initial question, though, for either one of you is how did you guys start off being a creative, or what got you into content creation?
You definitely started first,
Yeah,
especially with the church.
I think it was. Sorry, Addie's calling me.
Oh,
The husband's
The
calling.
hubby?
The husband's calling.
So the reason why I started was because I seen a need for things to be more creative. So we had an Instagram account, and it was my dad was running it, and it was not.
My dad.
Yeah, no offense, but it wasn't. It wasn't with the times. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing or catching any attention. So seeing that need, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can help with this. So that's why I started helping with like the social media at church. And then from there, I just kind of like learned to take pictures. I learned about graphic design. And it was actually my dad that taught me a lot of that. He himself was a photographer. He
I
did.
didn't
Really?
He took classes.
I did
Yes,
not
I
know.
knew he
remember.
did take classes. Yeah.
He took college classes about photography, and I remember he would have assignments where he'd have to like take pictures of certain things, and so that kind of introduced me to it. Then he started dabbling in graphic design, and which taught me. So he started teaching me Adobe's programs.
Right.
So you got Illustrator and
Photoshop.
Photoshop. So that's where I started. And then from there, so I was still doing all that stuff at the church, helping with that, learning. And then my dad has a print shop, and I started making my own t-shirt
no.
designs. Did you know that, Nate?
I think so. I remember vaguely.
It's in the archives.
Yeah, somewhere in the archives there.
I started designing t-shirts. I don't know why I did. I
She's
just,
designing her own brand.
yeah. So
What
then,
was the name of the brand?
oh gosh, it was called Listfit.
Liz. Oh, I do remember.
Listfit. And everybody was like, oh, is it
Listfit.
like for fitness? And I was like, no. It's because like outfit, Listfit,
Outfit.
you know.
Oh, I thought it was fitness
It's no
too.
longer around, okay? But I feel like that's the first bigger like project that I started making designs and being creative with, and taking pictures of the clothes and posting on my own Instagram and on Etsy. And I loved it. Like I loved doing that. So I think that's my origin story.
Okay.
Origin story.
That's a good origin story right there. Listfit. Do you have any clothes from Listfit? Do you have any designs?
Gosh, I don't. For some reason, I didn't keep on with it, and I think it was because I got busy with school. I started going to nursing school, or trying to get into nursing school, which took up a lot of my time. And I just couldn't keep up with it. Also, I did not like screen printing. I hated it.
Oh, no, I feel that.
Sorry, Dad.
I don't know if I don't hate it. It's just not my thing.
I could not make another shirt. So I was like, I want to be creative.
Right.
And there's other ways to do that besides screen printing. So I was like, not this.
Nice. Okay. Ava,
So
what's your?
I was thinking about this. I was like, I think I might be still in my like origins, right? I feel like I'm still, developing my creativity, which I feel like as creatives, I feel like we're always developing that. But I think I remember the day that it sparked, like that creative.
Oh,
just
a day.
sparked. It was a day.
What was the day? October
It was
16th?
I don't
2013.
not exactly.
At 5
2013.
p.m.
But
as you walked into the doors
You
of the
should have
church.
just made that
all
up.
you
Yeah,
guys
you
were
should-
actually there.
You should worry.
Yes. And it was Nate that handed me the camera. And as soon as after that day, I was from that point on was interested in photography and videography. And it was when we went to San Francisco, right? SF for your brother's Julian's proposal.
Oh my God. I completely
That
forgot
was-
about
I'm,
that.
I'm not sure how long
You
ago
were
that
there?
was. I was there, and Nate needed help taking photos. Maybe I just randomly asked you hey, you need some help,
Yeah.
and you were like, okay, here. So you gave me a camera, and I was like, okay, sweet. So, because I was with you,
And
because Nate needed help, so you went to go help him.
I don't remember you there.
And-
I'm
and-
sorry.
I have a picture. I remember because your hair was really short, and you had highlights in your hair. And I have
Okay.
one picture that you do not like.
Yeah, let's keep
Let's
that.
keep that.
oh, hold on.
It's just she makes a
I
funny,
think we
she made a
should,
funny face.
Put it right there.
So because your mom asked me to help take pictures, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I remember you and Audie there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were at the front end of the dock, and then I don't remember giving you a camera, but I just remember I flew my drone, so somebody had to be taking photos.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just getting really into it, trying to get in different different areas so to get different shots. And I remember just having so much fun, and I was like, man, this is I feel like this could be my thing, So
Thanks, Julian.
Yeah.
Julian.
Thanks, Julian.
Also, did taking pictures somebody's really special moment also affect you?
Oh
in
yeah,
some way?
definitely. I feel like the environment definitely had an effect on me, just the atmosphere of and then I don't know, I feel like you guys, since you guys were there taking photos and trying to create something like that, I felt I
Part of a
kind of
team?
belonged a part of a team.
Yeah,
Right? So
good.
being a part of a team like that definitely even pushes me more to be wanting to be a part of that.
I'm trying to think. I don't.
You don't remember?
I remember, but I don't think there was that epiphany of Elijah takes photos. Let me just give him a camera.
I think I just randomly asked you, and you're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
'Cause
you're
I-
that type of
'cause that
person.
was
Just
when
be like,
You were doing
let's do it.
photos. I think Alyssa was doing photos and videos at that time, right?
Yes.
And so
'cause I at work a little bit too, and at church. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess I just gave you the camera. Wow.
that was the first time I've taken photos. So, thank you, Nate.
You're welcome. I am part of somebody's origin story.
Thank you, Nate.
That's amazing. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you,
That-
Julian.
Thank you, Julian. Look what you started, man. No, that's really cool. Great,
So-
great origin stories. So, you guys are both doing stuff for the church, or Alyssa, you did stuff previously for the church, and Elijah, you're doing something for the church currently.
Yes.
So, my next question would be, what does it mean to either of you or each of you to be a creative or a content creator? Or do you see is there a difference between a creative and a content creator?
That's a good question. Definitely, you could kind of break that down in different ways. To start,
Is that your answer? And
Yeah.
you don't know how to answer?
You don't know how to answer?
You can break that down in different ways.
All right, well, let's start off with
you can
what-
ask many people and get different answers. For
A lot
pretty
and
of
you
much what I'm
can.
people
gonna
will
say.
give answers.
Yeah, a lot of people will give different answers, and that's kind of what I'm looking for too. Is I'll give a different answer, you'll give a different answer. I'm hoping Alyssa will give a different answer too. But let's start off with just being a creative. What does it mean to you to have that title as a creative?
I feel like kind of going towards that cliche, stepping out of the box, or doing things outside of the box is kind of what we tend to do. And I think being a creative, or having the role as a creative, especially at a church, you kind of want to Man, it's kind of different at a church. But being a creative is like, yeah, I would say like going to that cliche is stepping out of the box. And in social media and photography and videography, I would say. Mainly those, because I feel like when people say creative, that's mainly towards social media.
Right.
So, trying to get creative with what you can, pretty much. Trying to, you can also, I feel like, you can kind of interpret it in like, you could like maybe like in an inspiring way, you know, trying to be inspiring with your. There's just there's so many different things you could take from that, you know.
A lot of different avenues you can go down for being a creative.
What's on your mind, Alyssa? Because that's a hard question. It's like.
So, I'm glad you asked this because I've never taken the time to actually think about it. Like, what does it mean to be a creative? So, I believe that everybody is a little bit creative in their own way. I think of creativity as like also when you try to solve a problem, you have to be a little bit creative to come up with a solution, right? So I think it's like coming up with a solution is being creative. Are you doing that? Then you are. Are you trying to make something better? Are you trying to show something off that people don't see, or show something in a different perspective? That's being creative. There's just so many different ways that we're creative that we don't label explicitly as creative. So I think everybody's a little bit creative in different ways. But I want to put out more content, and like I'm trying to find out what my focus of my content is. And so everything that I do in my day, I'm like, okay, how can I create content out of this? Or how can I make a video out of this? A TikTok story, a reel, whatever. And the other day I went to Costco, or I was at work, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go to Costco and get groceries. But I was like, can I make hi. How can I make content out of my Costco grocery run right now? Because I hate going to Costco. It just like makes me hate the world because I'm like annoyed with everybody. It's too hot right now. I don't want to be there, and I'm hungry because I usually go after work, right? This is a bad moment, but I went to Costco and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a TikTok video of like romanticizing Costco. So while I was in Costco, I like took my time. I walked slowly. I was looking around for like shots, right? Shots that I wanted in this video. And I got all my shots right. I was creative. Like I put the camera inside the fridge.
Okay.
And then closed it and then opened it. People were like kind of looking at me weird, but did all that creative stuff. Okay. I left Costco and I felt so calmed. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I never feel like this after I leave Costco. But I was looking for the beauty in things. And I know everybody who is being creative, they're also looking, might not be beauty, might be different things, but taking those moments to look around me and see what there was just completely changed my mood, completely changed the experience. So that changed my mind about being creative, because like I was like, oh my gosh, your mindset changes when you're actually like looking around you in a creative way. So I don't know what that means in terms of being a creative yet, but it was just an observation that I experienced while trying to be creative.
Wow.
Go watch my TikTok.
Go watch Alyssa's TikTok. We'll put it up here.
Shameless plug.
Wow. That's that is a great way to explain it. Since you bring up Costco, you know, I never knew you could actually like film in certain areas or certain places. Target, I know before COVID. So during or when COVID hit, I was one of those people who put on a Star Wars like mask, like an actual helmet.
I have that picture.
And I went in to record a video, like I was going to do a vlog. of me with the helmet on. I went in to record with my camera and everything, and then Target told me not to. But recently, I just went to Costco, and so I'm vlogging us in this car, and then I'm vlogging us at Costco. And my dad the entire time is, they're not gonna let you in. Why are you bringing a camera? This and that. The moment I stepped into Costco, he was like, Nate, what's going on? Because every employee we passed by was, oh, let me be in the vlog. What are you vlogging? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, oh, do this. Go over here. Get this shot. Like, and my dad was just kind of like, what the?
Shout out to the Costco employees and
seriously, everybody wanted to be in the shot. And then the customers that were kind of walking around, they were also kind of peeking in like, hey, what are you doing? And so it's just being able to find that creativity in a space like Costco is just.
So do we both have our Costco experiences?
Yeah.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
It was interesting because Costco, to me, I would think they're kind of tight on security and everything. But I had the camera on me while I was pushing the cart. I had it facing other people. I didn't do the fridge thing. I was wanting to, but
Be a little bit more
You
creative.
gotta be a little
Come
more
on.
creative for that.
well, I mean, my whole vlog setup, I couldn't take the camera off in time.
Yeah.
I wanted to do one of those shots where you put it in the freezer or behind a box, and then you grab it, the box, and so you see the box being taken away. So that's. Put in the comments what kind of shots you get as a content creator or creative. Yeah, we had our Costco moments. Elijah, you need a Costco moment.
I know I need a Costco moment. I just don't film. I do want to get into vlogging. I just filmed my first vlog.
Okay.
It's for a church page on YouTube. I want to do more vlogs with our creative team, and so one of the ideas is to vlog our youth hangouts that were recently just started, right? And so I was like, since I brought up the idea, I'm like, I got to be the person to start it. And oh my gosh, I do not film myself. This is the first time I've filmed myself, other than like, dude, we used to, when we did our live streams for video games on Call of Duty.
Yeah,
other than
Call
that,
of Duty. That was
like, that's when I would actually film myself play. But I like to think I was good at the game. So
What was the website?
Twitch,
yeah. Used to
Twitch.
stream on Twitch.
I remember your Twitch era.
my Twitch era, our Twitch era,
Our Twitch era.
our Twitch.
Ernie was also in that Twitch era. He's behind the camera. Go ahead and wave to the people.
He was one of the stars, co-hosts of that those live streams. Okay, but anyways, so first time filming a vlog, and man, I was struggling, especially to start it, because like I think after I started it, I was a little bit more comfortable. But I was just in my car. I'm like, okay, what do I say? So I just like, it was like even hard for me to turn on the camera, if I'm being honest. Like even to push record, I felt like so weird. I was just like kind of cringing, and so I just clicked record. I'm like, okay, and so I just say something to the camera, and I'm just like, I stumble over my words a couple of times. I'm like, okay, take a deep breath, do it again. Okay, I go for it. What's up, youth? Or I don't know what I said. I forgot what I said. I said, what's up, guys? Blah, 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 blah. You know, we're going to our first youth hangout. Right now I'm at Safeway. I'm going to grab some, like, soda. And so I'm like, okay, let's go. And I, like I'm on the verge of, like...
Tears?
I'm, like, about to, like, crack. Because, like, I'm, like, this is so weird. And I go into, like, Safeway with... I'm recording myself. I'm just, like, talking to myself. I'm, like... This is the weirdest thing I've ever done, because I'm just talking to myself with my phone just like this, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think it turned out really well. Well, I haven't edited it yet, but after I pushed record and I started going, it started to run a little bit more smooth. Definitely, I'll do it again. I think as time goes by and I do it more and more, I'll become more comfortable, and those ideas of like, you know, putting my phone somewhere and then grabbing, you know, those extra shots.
Yeah.
Those will come to me eventually. So definitely like creative is a process. To be like, everyone's creative, like you said.
You'll get more creative with time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's a skill. It's, you know, it's like kind of like how people are born with things, and then so they're going to be naturally good at it. And then a lot of other people, they're not so naturally good at it, but they build that skill up, and they're kind of like on the same level, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely it's a skill you could build. So don't be discouraged.
So earlier you said you want to vlog more. Why?
Okay, so I think it's not. So I do want to vlog more just because I want to get better at it. But I want to see more. I like the way that these vlogs look. I know I watch your vlogs, and I like how they turn out. They, I feel like I'm there with you in a sense, and so it's just like it makes me feel more connected to that, right? Even with you, when you go to these church events, when you go to these, like, you're trying different foods, I feel more connected to you because I watched those. Even though it's kind of just like one way, I still feel that, I'm like there with you. And I feel like that brings me joy. And so I kind of want to bring that to the church. And for people who want to see more of our church, I want to bring that same joy that I find with you guys and bring that, again, bringing it to other people that want to know more about our church. And I feel like it would make more people want to be there too, because like someone says, "Oh, we're gonna go play board games at someone's house." It's not so. It's like you're kind of like
you don't know what that looks like,
right?
You don't know what it looks like, and especially with a lot of new people, they don't know a lot of people because you're not gonna talk to every single person, right? You don't know every single person that's gonna be there, so it's just kind of like. I don't know I'm going in dark, going in blind pretty much. Yeah,
so. It's a good introduction to what people, and I guess I would say what people are getting themselves into if they go to one of these like hangouts or board game nights or something like that. Being able to see like, hey, this is what it is, this is what we're doing. And I think for me, when it comes to vlogging and in that area, you're not fluffing it up. It's raw. It's, hey, this is what it is. It's not, okay, we're going to have you stand here, we're going to have you stand here, and we're going to make it look, it's not a staged thing. When you're vlogging, majority of the time, it's the real deal. It's
more authentic.
Speaking of vlogging, let me just get some.
Yeah, go for it.
Different angles.
Different angles. Yeah, and one of the things that I've learned, sorry, did he answer your question? I don't want to like.
No, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then I was going to ask you too, like, why did you start doing vlogs?
So I was just about to talk about that. So for those of you who know me and who don't know me, so I do photo and video on the side, Turtle Crew Productions, photography, videography. I do work with your dad on, t-shirt printing stuff. Like I'll send people his way, stuff like that. But there was just kind of this, I guess like a lull in the business and, not really getting a lot of clientele, and I didn't want to lose my creative, I don't want to say my creative structure, I guess.
You didn't want it to be driven by business.
Right. And so one of the things that I got inspired to do was to start a vlog. I wanted to do a vlog for years. I just never got the courage. Like you, like, hey, I'm going to
clicking record is hard.
Yeah, I'm going to put up my phone and say, hey, guys, what are we doing today? It is the most nerve-wracking thing when I first started. But there is one individual who, I don't know this individual. What do you say? Ernie. So I talked to Ernie. About everything there is when I, do creative stuff too.
Your feelings too.
Yeah, my feelings, my creativity. Everything. And I told him, I wanted a vlog, and he was like, all right, man, let me hook you up with the camera. So he talked to somebody who blessed me with a camera. Shout out to Pastor John. Thank you. And thank you, Ernie, for talking to Pastor John. But Casey Neistat. So I used to watch his videos back in the day. I never like consistently watched his videos, but going back and rewatching his vlogs just inspired me, and it lit a fire in me of I could be creating content every single day and just telling people a story of my life every day. Why am I not doing that? You can literally use any part of your day and create a video or make that content and tell people about it. And, I know a lot of vloggers, a lot of people, YouTubers, they kind of do it for the monetization of it all. And for me, it's like, cool, if that comes, it comes. But for me, it's how can I be creative to show people my everyday life or, the weekend that I had? I'm slowly starting to get to that day-to-day vlogging, but currently just watching Casey Neistat's videos, it really inspired me to just start. And somebody else just recently asked me, his name's Isaiah, he's also a videographer, and he messaged me and sent me a voice message on Instagram, was like, dude, how do you vlog and then hit publish? Like, I'm sitting there and I want it perfect. I want it perfect. I want everything to look great and to look amazing. And if I mess up, I got to redo it. If I mess up, I redo it. And I told him, I said, 2 words for you: Casey Neistat. Because in his vlogs, he just says in one of them, you just got to do it. Don't worry about how it looks. You just put the content out there. Just hit the record button, make a video, and put it out there on whatever it is that you have. So that's kind of where I'm at. And how I started vlogging was because of Casey Neistat's inspiration of just creating a story of some type every day.
Yeah. That's amazing what people do on YouTube, where they start from. Like, all they needed was a camera.
Yeah.
And the internet.
The camera and the internet. It's crazy. I mean, I have my rig. I have the camera that we're filming on, but then, you have your phone, and then I also carry around an Osmo Pocket. So I have 3 cameras on me at all times. Just as for me as a creative, it's, people will see a big camera. Hey, they're asking questions. They may not let you take it into certain places. Cool. Now I have my smaller 4K camera, or I have my phone. So constantly having something to film everything and anything.
A little one is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Fits in your pocket. Super small.
Not as cool as that, though.
No, that Insta360 Go 3 is actually incredible.
This is like your shy person
Yeah.
Vlog camera. Because, if you're even too shy to hold this, you can hold this.
And it is magnetic.
And then, sometimes because when it's recording it, it blinks red. I'll just cover this part. Because people don't notice it, they really don't notice what's going on. And then I'm like this, but then I kind of feel more like a creeper.
Oh, man.
But yes, it's magnetic.
Oh.
See?
That's cool.
There we go. Oh.
So last weekend, we were in the gym, and Audie was tall enough to put it on the metal light. So we have a shot in the corner,
that's awesome.
the whole gym. It's I love this thing. Highly recommend.
Yeah, so if you're creative watching this and you're looking for some equipment, Insta360 Go 3.
Yeah, and it even opens up, so you can use that vlog feature and see yourself. There's an app where you can put it on your phone. Obviously, a lot of cameras have that now.
Right, yeah.
Quality's pretty good, too.
Yeah, I think 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, 2K.
Yeah, 2K. And I mean, even on YouTube, no one's really watching anything in 4K. So 1080p is your go-to. So yes. 2K, and it'll downsize it down to 1080. Still gonna look great. Nice, very cool. Yeah, I hate going. When I first started vlogging, carrying that thing. You want to grab that for me, Elijah, real quick, just so people can see. That is my. Ooh.
That heck scared me.
So this is my vlog setup right here. It's a A6600 with a Rode Video Mic Pro and a Joby Gorilla Pod with a small rig.
Did you crack the screen?
Yes.
It's the screen protector.
It's a screen protector, though. So I cracked the screen protector.
It's intense vlogging right there.
Yeah.
You don't mess around when he vlogs.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I started off with. But walking into a restaurant or a place with that, people just constantly stare at you. Mm-hmm. So having something compact, I mean, it would be a little bit better at starting off. A lot
of attention.
Yeah, but the attention that it kind of grabs, it's just, it's funny.
You know what's crazy? When we were in Alabama, that's when when I seen you get the most attention it was crazy. So many random people just go up to you, just be like, are you vlogging? Like, are you a vlogger or stuff like
Yeah,
that?
it's it was interesting.
Or like, what you got going on there? Like, and then they'll ask you like even when we went to that Ladybird Taco, those
Yeah,
people you're talking to them for like a cool minute, and they ended up like having some social media presence.
Yeah, they were some videographers and photographers,
Kind of cool.
marketing strategists.
Like, kind of like people, the creatives know each other. You know,
Yeah.
you can tell.
So, are you saying that when you create community?
Whoa.
Dang. Yeah, I think so. That was pretty deep. That was
It's because I'm sitting in Ernie's seat.
that is true. That is true. No, I'd
Yeah.
say, yeah, you definitely create community. I think one of the things, especially for the Creative Drip podcast, is I've seen it with content creators, be it inside and outside of church, but there are people who aren't willing to share their knowledge, aren't willing to share, those tips, tricks, or their ideas of what it means to be a creative or how to even be a creative. And so something with a Creative Drip is building that community of, hey, we're all here just to support one another.
Yeah, because when I'm watching other people's YouTube videos, because I love YouTube. YouTube has my heart, will forever have my heart. I've been watching YouTube forever. And whenever I first started to like, okay, should I create my own content? I would look in the descriptions, or I would look for like people to share what they're doing, and it's important to share that because like other people are looking for answers. And yeah, they want to hear because they want ideas themselves. Because what if creative people are always looking for is ideas?
Yeah. So speaking of that, where do you guys usually get your ideas when it comes to the content you're creating?
Good question. You just said it, YouTube, right? You get a lot of your information.
Inspiration?
Inspiration.
Is that
Yeah.
the-
What did I ask?
You said inspiration.
Did I say inspiration?
No, you said where do you get your ideas?
Okay,
it's
yeah.
the same-
Idea,
kinda same thing.
inspiration. Yeah. Where do you get your inspiration when you start creating?
Yeah, I would say certain people that I follow on YouTube. This one girl, like her style of vlogs, I love them, and I draw inspiration from her. Traveling,
Okay.
I draw inspiration from like the change of environment, the people, the difference that there is. And you, Nate, you inspire me.
Wow. I was not expecting that, like, at all. Dang.
Definitely, you are an inspiration for sure. Definitely.
Don't try to take that. Don't try to take that from me. Be quiet.
That's, I don't know. That's weird to hear from some, like, to hear. Oh,
But
can see
you're
it, though.
doing it though. Like the thing that Casey Neistat does, you're not doing exactly like him, but you decided to do that, and that's inspiration worthy. And you got to give yourself credit for it, that you've like actually done something. Right? To
Right,
you, it might
yeah.
not be perfect, it might not be the best, but you're like putting something out there.
yeah.
You're clicking
Sure.
record. A lot of people can't click record.
Yeah, a lot of people
That's
don't
true.
ever get to that point.
Dang.
A lot of people can't click post.
That's true.
A lot
A
of
lot of
people
people can't publish. That is a difficult part of it.
But inspiration, I think for me, definitely Instagram, because my main thing that I like make are like reels, and I'll be making. Sometimes I'll make graphics. I think that's where I just get my inspiration. I scroll and then I'll save stuff here and there. Sometimes I'll have an idea that just pops out of the blue, and I try to need to start writing stuff down. Like that's one thing I need to work on is writing stuff down.
Your mind is a horrible storage device. Write everything.
I need to start
down.
doing that because I feel like it's just to get everything just on paper, everything out of my head. Because there's so many, everyone has so many ideas that just don't get written down, and so it just gets lost. So I do need to start doing that. I know you do, right? You have your own journal, huh?
Yes. So I have multiple journals across. Here's one right here. But even for like the creative drip, if I can find, I showed Alyssa earlier. It was just a bunch of, I guess you could say, word vomit, just trying to get the ideas onto paper.
That's good though.
Here it is.
Clears your mind.
Yeah.
It's like a really good thing to do. I've seen it somewhere.
But there's a person on Instagram that I follow. I believe her Instagram is LA Captured Visuals. I believe so. But she made a video on journaling your thoughts and getting everything down on paper so that you still have it. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to use it, but just to have it kind of archived so you can always go back to it. Yeah. Like if you were to look at my Instagram, especially my TikTok, I think I have 10,000 plus videos saved. Not all of them are like content creation ideas, but I have like those subcategories. But even on Instagram, I have tons of things saved for creative stuff, but I hardly go back to it. So it's just one of those just to have just in case when it comes to ideas.
Yeah, but what do museums hold? They hold things that people made and like that are significant now. And if they would have never like, I don't know, created what they created.
That is very true.
And it all stayed in their head.
In about like 100 years, all of these journals Nate has are going to be in a museum somewhere.
The Turtle Crew Productions Museum. But no, that's cool. That's cool, guys.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
So like on YouTube, have you seen like my favorite videos or like my monthly favorites? So one time when I was, I don't know, like 6 years ago, I was like, I'm going to make a video. I want to make a video of my favorites, like monthly favorites. I started going around the house and just grabbing random stuff that I didn't even care about it. Like it wasn't my favorite. And then like I sat down and started recording myself and like started making up some like BS answers of why it was my favorite. It's like, this cup is my favorite because I really like the color and I got it at this place. And obviously I never posted it. But I was like, wait, maybe I shouldn't be making videos right now if I'm not going to be authentic about it. So I think that time and that point in time was not the right time for me because I was inspired, but the idea was there, but I wasn't being authentic about it. But I've always wanted to make videos, but I always think about that. I was like, Alyssa, you're so fake.
Man. No, I think authenticity when it comes to making videos is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't remember how many before I even published my first video, how many takes I did. Because it's like the first take, I think you're the most authentic on your first take. And then as you continue to, oh, hold on, let me re-record.
Yeah.
Okay, re-record.
It becomes more like a script.
Yeah.
Right, but there's also, and I'm saying yes, authenticity, but some parts of creativity is perfection. There's like perfecting it, you know? What the director is going to get multiple cuts until they get the right scene that plays out, not just use the first one because that's authentic. So I feel like it's a mix of both and depending what you're putting out, right?
Right. Like if I'm going to make a video on why this is my favorite phone and say, oh, because it can cure cancer or something like.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't. It might just cause cancer. I don't know.
Let's get Delilah on here.
I know, my mom would say that. I wanted to talk about something I forgot in the origin story was, okay, so I did photography, took some videos too. I worked on graphic design. I worked at Sac State for a bit in the IT office and I did graphic design there, worked on websites. I've dabbled in a lot of areas.
Done a lot.
I actually have. And then I started on video editing. And the reason why I made a video was because it was Palabra Viva one year, like maybe 2016. And I was like, I want to make a video. We haven't had any videos at church. So I sat down and like I found music, and I just started seeing the whole thing in my head because of the music. Like I love music, and I found my love for editing videos, not taking them, not taking video or taking photos, but editing a video. I like found my love for editing videos.
Dang.
And I don't do it and as much anymore, but sometimes I'll hear songs and I'll be like, I'll just see like the scenes that I want in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, this type of scene would look like be so good right here. And I love making people feel emotions through video and sound. Like I love that.
You are really good at. You are gifted in that area.
Oh, bud.
No, I'm being serious because
I
like,
agree.
because like you do, in when that Food Fest video, play it, Nate.
No, totally.
Do we still have it? Is
Yeah,
it?
It's on the our YouTube.
I do have to say that was my favorite part.
That
of
one.
working on the creative team at church was editing videos.
Editing the videos.
Now, yeah, I just love it.
Hey Nate, I
That's
think
gonna take you a long time.
we have another project to work on at the church. As creative director, we need to have someone recruit someone.
Do I hear you're
Re-recruit.
coming back to the creative team?
Recruit.
Listen, guys, listen.
This is gonna open another.
We're all listening here.
Is this gonna open another branch into another conversation, or no?
Creative wasn't the only thing I was doing. Okay?
Right.
And when you're put in that situation, it's hard to create, right? It becomes less of an outlet and more of a chore, just something you're like trying to put out, and what you put out based on a deadline, or it's like not your best work.
Right. I can understand that. Yeah.
And constantly doing that when you have too much on your plate gets you burnt out. And burnt out is such a sensitive word, right? Because I feel like, do we get burnt out? And then I feel like, we're in church, like, should we ever get burnt out? Is that like a touchy word in the church world? Because it's like, oh, you're not having enough
I think so. I think
faith in God, or you're not going to him as your source. So I don't know what my stance is on that yet.
Okay.
But I just knew it was too much at one time because I was doing more things than just creative, that I needed to pull back and then really like find out what I needed to do. You know, right now I'm really busy with work. I'm really busy with now creating my own content, with taking care of a home, and I'm going to start school again. So it just takes a lot of time, you know?
It does. I mean, and being a content creator or being a creative in general, like you're sitting there hours on end creating. So it's now finding that extra time to say, okay, between school, work, home, you know, trying to find an extra hour or two in the day where you can actually create a 2-minute video. Like that's difficult.
Yeah, and I don't know too much about this, and I know there's an Instagram account called, it's like the main one, Creative.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They talk a lot about church creatives, right? And how to balance creative work within the church. Because I do think that's a skill of balance, because when I'm working on my own stuff, I don't give myself deadlines. Like I just do it on my own time. When I get to it, I'll get to it. There's no pressure, and I can do that. But it's different when you're working as creative church. There it is.
Creative
CRTV
church.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's different. Take out church. It's different when you're being creative for a business, and it's especially different when you're being a creative for church. So I don't know the answer.
I
and
feel
all
like because you
that.
kind of have to mix both into your you kind of have to mix like business and
When it comes to, at least in my perspective, when it comes to creating for church, and then like having that balance of, okay, there needs to be deadlines for creation at church. And if you don't have the discipline enough to, see those deadlines and get stuff done, it can hinder your videos. But I can also see, and I've been in that position where those deadlines also hinder my creativity. Because now it's, okay, I need it by this day. I can't really plan effectively or go out effectively to create what I'm really wanting to create.
So I'm excited to see who else you're going to have on your podcast to maybe talk about that.
That is true. Yeah. So as we begin to wrap up the first episode of the Creative Drip, what would you two like to see the next person and or persons that I interview? What would you like them to answer? What's one question or idea that you would have them kind of think about or talk about?
That's a good question.
There's a lot of many. There's
many
ways that you can answer that.
Many avenues.
I think, you could kind of ask them where they want to go with their creativity, as in like future, what kind of lies for them in the future. Because I feel like we didn't really talk about future wise. We're talking more about past and what kind of brought us here, what we're doing right now. I think that would be something cool to kind of talk about, what you want to, like your goals for creativity, what your goals are for yourself as a creative, and where you kind of, like, for a lot of people, it's at church that they kind of do their creativity. For you, it's your in your own business, right? For you, it's yourself. You kind of thrive in your creativity in your personal life, right? So kind of where you see yourself in, like, how many years, 5-10 years as a creative, and where you kind of want to set yourself up for.
Someone said that they thought I would have a good podcast voice.
You do.
Or whenever in the past, whenever I've created videos and like my voice is in it, I've always gotten comments like, your voice is very soothing.
It is. Like, I'm listening to it. I'm just like, you have a good podcast voice. You sound like an actual influencer who's on a podcast. Like,
ooh, you should ask somebody about influence next podcast.
Ooh, that is a good one. There's your answer.
Let me. So, Liz, what is something that you would want the next individual to kind of speak on?
I want them to answer, is influence really influence, even if there's nobody you're influencing?
That was okay.
That came up as good as it could.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was
Okay, listen. I know you guys got what I was trying to say, but it sounded so stupid.
Oh.
Just asking about influence, okay?
All right. So in the next episode of The Creative Drip, we will talk about, where we're going with being creatives, kind of future tense, and then talking about being an influencer, influencing influence. Influence.
Influence when you're
Like,
influencing.
I'm not even
when you
check.
have no one to influence.
I want them to interpret it.
All right.
Wow, that's good.
Well, thank you both for being on the first episode of The Creative Drip. I'm your host, Nate, and we have
Alyssa
and
Elijah.
We're brother and sister,
yes,
by the way.
they are brother and sister. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time. I don't have any outro music or anything. I don't know. Hungry and bored. No, I can't do that here.